Do you know what? It's got to that point where I can't be bothered to put any makeup on and I'm just wearing my dad's old jumper. And I'm not mad about it. Hi everyone, it's Jenny. Welcome back to my channel. How are you all? I hope you're all well. I hope you're all comfortably attired like I am. I am taking part in the SpringAThon readathon. Or is it just SpringAthon? I don't know. But basically there's a readathon from the 4th to the 17th of May that is being hosted by Natalie from Curious Reader, Emma from A Couple Books, and Juliana from The Blank Garden, which is a blog, not a YouTube channel, and it is just basically trying to encourage you to read more nature writing. You only have to read one book that is nature writing to take part, and I am really excited about it, so I've kind of taken the prompts and gone a bit outside the box, and this is, even though it's only for like 2 weeks, I kind of just want to read this book throughout the month, so this is my TBR. Welcome. And the first category, because you have kind of category prompts, is bird. And I love books about birds. I didn't realise this. I haven't read a ton, but the ones I've read really tend to stick with me. And this was the one that I had the most ideas for. So I'm going to read on audiobook Wildling by Isabella Tree, which is just the best name for this readathon. And I think it's about rewilding an area so to encourage the birds and nature to come back. And that's all I know, but I've heard the audiobook of it. I think she reads it and it's just delightful. And another audiobook I want to read is H is for Hawk, which is a memoir by Helen Macdonald. I think it won the Costa Book Award and some other book awards a few years back, but it's a memoir of her. I think she's going through some kind of grief, but she's learning to kind of falconry. I think she's training, I think it's kestrels she works with, or something like that. And it's about like, or maybe it's about training them, I don't know, but I know it's Olive from Book Olive is one of her favourite non-fiction books ever, so yeah, that's good enough for me. And then, in terms of like physical books, I really want to read The Seabird's Cry by Adam Nicholson. I just want to learn more about birds that aren't just puffins, or seabirds that aren't just puffins, because that's kind of all I initially cared about buying this book, but I think there's 10 birds or so, yes, that it talks about. So that'll be wonderful. And then a book that has a bird on the cover, because I've mixed it up with fiction as well, is Pure by Andrew Miller, which is set in 18th century Paris, and I never read about 18th century, it's set in 1785. There we go. And the blurb gives absolutely nothing away. It sounds quite dark. I think it's quite a lot to do with like cemeteries and graves and stuff like that. So I guess, you know, decomposing bodies, that's kind of nature, right? in a macabre way. But this one, 2011 Costa Book Award, and I didn't buy it then, but probably didn't buy it that long after, so I've had this for a flipping long time. So that is that category. Then moving on to the next category, which is water. And I have a book, some people might like say it's a cheating bit, but I've got Prisons of Geography, 10 maps that tell you everything you need to know about global politics by Tim Marshall. Again, it's not nature writing, but look, this is water. That's what I'm counting it as, because I just am really interested in this, and I think it will kind of talk about water like in some ways, obviously, because of like, you know, the ocean is a border in a sense. So this will be something that is quite outside my comfort zone. I'm interested in it, but I haven't really read geopolitical stuff before, and this is like his speciality, and I've read through his books, because they're before. This is the first one I bought, so it's about time. And then a fiction book is Faces in Water by Janet Frame, and I cannot tell you how long it took you to notice there are faces on the cover. This is part of the gorgeous Morago Press 40th anniversary editions, and these ones here. And I have read 2 of them now. I've read Heartburn, and I flipping loved it last month, so I won't get to this one. I think it is about a woman who's in a mental asylum though, so I'm not sure if I will actually be in the mood to pick this one up, but it's short. Yay for short books, and never read anything by her. So there's that one. And then the next category is animals. So I want to listen to an audiobook. The Honeybee Heart has 5 openings, and it's a book I've really wanted to buy because the cover is beautiful, but I'm like, no, Jen, be strong, do not buy books. So I'm going to listen to it instead. But I think it's about a year's experience of keeping bees, and I think it's not in a rural place. So even if it is, I just think bees are amazing, and I don't know much about them, even though I know they're very important to us and they pollinate most of our food. I love honey, so I'm very welcome to learning more about bees. And then in terms of like, fiction books, one of the many live books I got out that I've been neglecting is Fox 8 by George Sanders, which I think is actually from the perspective of the fox. which sounds fascinating. And I know that it's not written like or spelt properly, like some of the English, and it's got like sweet illustrations, and I'm trying to find a nice one. Look at that. I mean, I'll breeze through it. It's so short. And also, I've never read Lincoln the Bard or anything like that by him. I know, shocking. So this will be my introduction to his work. And then another book that has an animal cover, and the title is If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Karamura, because this is a very famous Japanese book. I've not read much Japanese fiction, but I always enjoy it. It's always a little bit quirky. And I think it's literally, like, it's kind of what it says in the tin. And also, I think there is an Asian readathon happening, and I'm not specifically taking part in it, but I sort of am, I guess, with this. So that's nice. This is my kind of nod to that. And then the book that was my last month's TBR is The House Without Windows, because it has a bird and butterflies, and it's got lots of pretty nature pictures in. I'm gonna find any now, am I? That's oh look, there's a little deer. How sweet is that? So I'll read that, because I think it's also about like outdoor space as well. Maybe it isn't, but I just want to read it. I'm in the mood. I wasn't in the mood last month. I put on my TBR, but now I'm in the mood. In the mood. And what's next? Oh, see, I didn't know what category to put this in, but I was like, this is a good time to read this. This is William Wordsworth's poetry, because I know, again, I put this on my TBR last month, I think, but look, nature poets, nature. And he writes a lot about landscape and Lake District and the lakes and just mountains and just nature, guys. So I was like, wow, I'm going to read this, and that'll be nice. But, okay. Plants is a section we're on to. So, for non-fiction we have The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Wohlleben. What they feel, how they communicate, discoveries from a secret world. And I just flippin' love trees. My favourite tree is a weeping willow. There you are. Fun fact. I honestly have been obsessed with them. When I was young, I used to like play. I loved playing hide and seek with if there was like a weeping willow, and I would like go and hug them. I really loved them. I was a strange child. Still a bit strange now, to be honest. But I don't know if this talks about, do you think it's talking about specific trees? I think it's just like trees in general and how they communicate and live and feed on nature, but also give back to nature. And I just think it will be really fascinating. And I think the writer is quite renowned, but I've not actually heard of him. So I just remember hearing about this from Sophie Carlin's channel and thinking, well, that sounds like my jam. And then fiction, we have The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham, which I think might be on Emma Books' TBR, because this is perfect. It's about, well, it is an apocalyptic kind of dystopian fiction, so maybe not perfect like for this time, but it's about the Triffids is a plant that's like taking over the world, because I think there's some kind of like comet or something that hits Earth, and then lots of people are blind, so it's kind of about like a survival story, but then the Triffids are like growing and they're carnivorous plants, so I'm not sure, it won't be a happy book, I'm sure, but definitely like for the plant section. And then a book that I've had for a couple of years now is The 16 Trees of the Somme by Lars Mitting. It's a Norwegian author, never read, to my knowledge, a Norwegian author book. That was weird. A Norwegian book. And this is spanning 100 years, and it's about Edvard and his parents died when he was young, doesn't remember them, so he'd been brought up by his grandfather, and then his grandfather's given a coffin early before he dies, so it's kind of this mystery around, is his grandfather's brother really alive, and him uncovering the history, like through the coffin and the wood, and like the history of trees. So I think that will be really wonderful. I love the opening. I'm going to read it to you. Wait. For me, my mother was a scent. She was a warmth, a leg I clung to, a breath of something blue, a dress I remember her wearing. She fired me into the world with a bowstring, I told myself, and when I shaped my memories of her, I did not know if they were true. I simply created her as I thought a son should remember his mother. Doesn't that just sound lovely? I love family stories and ones that span time, so yay! I think now is the time to read it. And then the last section is travel / destination. I really want to sing destination, no. I just did, okay. Anyway, moving on. Again, this is not really nature writing, but this is Travellers in the Third Reich, the rise of fascism through the eyes of everyday people, which I'm considering getting an audiobook. I think it's quite a nice narrator. And this is a book that looks set to be long, but it's actually not, because it's got a lot of notes and it just isn't as long as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like my biggest books TBR, but it's not. And it is actual first-hand accounts of like regular people, I think, from Germany or like Third Reich area about the 30s and how everything kind of happened. And I think that is always the most interesting way actually to learn about things. It's not necessarily the politics, but how normal people were infiltrated into believing in this man and regime. And I'm learning about like the rise of fascism anyway, because my sister's a history teacher and we're having history lessons and it's really fun. So she has something to do while she's in lockdown, and I love history, so this will be nice. And then another book that is not, I don't know if it has similar its percentage of geography, but this is Histories of Nations, How Their Identities Were Forged, which is a compilation of I guess essays and histories by different authors of 28 different nations. That's a lot, so this is why I picked this one. Again, I don't know if it writes about like the landscape, I'm not sure what it focuses on, I'm not sure if it actually won't be very successful because it's going to be such short chapters. You know, this is not a very long book, there are 28 nations covered in here. I don't know if I'll find it too brief, but I'm excited to have a whistle-stop tour, you know, of all these countries. And then a book that I guess I've sort of like pushed into this category is The Good Immigrant, which again is a collection of essays. And I think this is about like immigration, but I'm not sure if it's like focused on the UK or not, because you know this is just like covered with hype, which is great and all, but I don't know. I think it's just about general experiences. So that's, you know, kind of travel, destination vibes. So there we go. And then the book that was also on my list. Sorry, this is just like such a scatty TBR, but you know, it's been one of those days, guys. I've just been in bed reading Harry Potter, to be honest, most of the day. What a life. And anyway, this is Lost Children Archive because it's about the Mexico-American border and the tensions of refugees there. And again, it took me ages to realise that that part was a picture. Like, you guys, who would think that I'm doing a PhD? Like, I'm really not that observant, apparently, about book covers. But I bought this because I love book cover, and I really like paperback cover now too, and I don't know which one I like more, but I've got this one, so you know, this is the one I'm going to love. And it has pictures at the back. I don't know what they are, so I'm trying to be good and not peek. So there's that one. And then two just like randomers, because, you know, bonus, is George Gittings, The Odd Women. And you must be laughing thinking, but have you finished Another World? And of course not, but I've made progress. So now I'm going to read two Gittings at the same time, because Katie from Books and Things and Marissa from Basically Bookish have started or initiated a read-along of this. So they're reading 2 chapters a day for kind of the first 2 weeks or so, and that feels very doable. So I'm hoping this will make me want to read the other one more as well. But who knows? But this is apparently like the less miserable, so that's good. And also, I really wanted the Penguin edition. This is very petty, you didn't need to know, so I'm going to tell you anyway. And because I like the Penguin cover more, and I didn't have it. Then I had the Oxford one, and this is fine, but the Penguin one's so much nicer. But Katie's got the Penguin one, and I'm just really jealous because I want the Penguin one, okay? Anyway, I'm going to read that, and it's about the surplus of women who there were no men to marry, because there was about half a million women than men in the UK at this time. When is it set? Probably late, like 1880s or something. In Victorian times, so kind of what they did to support themselves and survive, which that's a very interesting concept. And then this is ambitious. Oh, I really want to read Crime and Punishment gradually. I thought they would have short chapters, but it doesn't. It is not like Tolstoy. Now the Korean has short chapters, this does not. This only has 41 chapters. But if I read like 20 pages a day, I'll get it done, guys. And that suddenly seems a lot more doable, especially because this is decent sized print. So that's my plan, because I really want to read Brothers Karamazov next month, to just get like 2 big ones out of the way, because I really wanted to read more Russian classics. That's one of my biggest goals this year, and I've not read any Russian classics, so gonna rectify the situation and read a lot, hopefully this month, and obviously like still do PhD work. Oh boy, but I'm excited. I'm really excited for the next reader film. I'm definitely gonna do like a recommendations or the like SpringAthon tag, because it's definitely a wonderful thing to be reading right now. Everyone is taking solace in nature and all these nice things, and also even though some of these aren't nature books, it's also pushing me to get to non-fiction books that I definitely neglect. I would just wait till non-fiction November. So even though, again, like as usual, I'm not expecting to read all of these, I like to give myself a wide TBR. Oh, these sleeves just do things to me. I just want to flap with them. Oh, I'm tired, can you tell? Anyway, I know this has been rambling. I was like, this is going to be short, sharp, snappy. And yes, I can't click properly. That was good for me. Yes. Sometimes it's like and it's pathetic. Anyway, I'm going to go now and shut up. But I will see you soon for Bookish Shenanigans. Bye.